Long ago, when the world was bright and full of stories, an evil wizard gained the power to touch the face of God. Narrativa, goddess of stories and weaver of our world, banished him to the void, but not before he stole a piece of her divine essence. With this newfound power, the wizard lay a dread curse upon all the world, the Glyph Purge, which struck from the minds of all mortals the knowledge of how to read and write. Now, all that stand between the Isle of Meotia and an age of endless ignorance are the bards, who tell stories of distant lands, exotic creatures, and brave heroes. This is one such tale.
Hello and welcome to Challenge Rating 0, the latest and greatest Dungeons & Dragons podcast to hit the internet airwaves. I am Sam, your Dungeon Master, and I am joined as always by my longtime friends and adventuring companions.
Hello, I'm Brian, and I play Hektor the Gatekeeper.
Hey, I'm Beth, and I play Rilla Longshadow. Is that how we do it, Brian?
That was spot on. Hi guys, I'm Alex, and tonight I'll be playing Ruger Firehead.
Unlike all the other nights where he plays other characters. And last but not least, we have the man who calls himself Michael, but who we call Parker. Michael Parker playing the druid Zurabak. Say hi, Parker.
Hi, Parker.
Damn it, Parker! Lower your fucking voice!
Calm down.
And so we return once more, this time with glad tidings. Things were on the upswing at the end of the last episode, which is a nice change of pace. We got rid of some plagues and, engaged in some just like backdoor alchemy, like some crazy shit went down last time.
A little bit of lighthearted Jenga.
a little bit of lighthearted Jenga. That I didn't ever think that those stacking blocks would pay so many dividends so late in the campaign, but here we are, still
Literal
playing
game
Jenga.
changer for sure.
When last we left our heroes. I mean, Hektor, Rilla, Zurabak, and the lawman Ruger Firehide finished the grim work that they started when they first entered the cursed mine shaft, long ago sealed by the people of Grotmire, mine shaft number 10. Having plumbed the depths of this treacherous, abandoned mine shaft, our heroes had come across the ancient Medusa Sarissa and uncovered that she was the cause of the dreaded plague spreading like wildfire through Grotmire and Everspring, the terrible rock joint, an affliction that Hektor himself was the victim of. Having slayed Sarissa without gaining any further insight into the nature or cause of this particular malady, our heroes were forced to do a little detective work. They grabbed some bits from Sarissa's corpse and ran to the college and the great minds therein to try to find a solution to this horrible sickness that had been unleashed upon this hub of civilization, while Zurabak stayed behind in the mine and did some grim experimentation with the remnants of Sarissa. Moonbeam of the Hall of Whispers in the college used some of her bardic magics to glean a little extra information about the nature of this illness, and after Rilla utilized a newly found magic wand to make Ruger go from rock hard to flaccid.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Low
did
blow.
I did that. That happened, and that's in the show forever now.
Really? Snip, 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 snip.
Rilla went back to the mine and gave an ancient dwarf the same treatment. Restoring to life and curing from petrification a long-lost dwarven alchemist named Thoric, who, utilizing the information our heroes had and his ancient wisdom and experience, crafted a cure for Rockjoint. This was distributed to Hektor, removing this terrible illness from his body, and was quickly synthesized and spread across all of Everspring and the Dwarven Hold of Grotmire below, ringing in a final end to this horrible plague. And so we join our heroes now, having just spent hours outside of the alchemical lab in the College of Everspring, anxiously awaiting word of a cure and watching that cure be spread across town. It is late, a little past midnight, and you can see as you stand out front of the College of Everspring that the town guard, mostly made up of the dwarves of Grotmire and the Knights of the Quill, the Knights of the Order of the Quill, forgive me, are spreading vials of this cure all across the city. You guys, you're getting pretty tired.
Well, I, for one, have a mermaid chamber calling my name. So, I'm willing to retire to the sea vixens and catch some Z's.
Fantastic. Ruger Firehide returns to his gorgeously appointed room in the College of Everspring, decorated with merfolk of all sorts, to get some R&R. Realizing that all of this happened in the first day you arrived in Everspring. Yeah, you get some much-needed sleep. What do the rest of you do?
I mean, I don't need to go to bed, but I am sick of being around humans and dwarfs. So I'll go sit in my room and play solo Jenga for several hours, I guess. Shit! Oh shit! Rutherford can talk to me now, so we can play together.
Yeah, Rutherford can talk to you and is incredibly intelligent. And yeah, you now have a Jenga partner for the rest of your goddamn life.
Fuck yeah.
Wait, how does that work? Does he tell you which block he wants you to go for on his behalf?
He's got it, right? Or he's got one
He's
little
got
claw.
paws.
Yeah, and he pokes it.
Yeah, he's got tiny little kitty paws, and he uses that to remove the stackum blocks. He's not great at it, but he's getting better.
Better than playing by myself, so, I'll take it.
Yeah. So Rilla returns to her beautifully appointed room, decorated with, I believe, druidic decor, looking like a beautiful lush forest. Yeah.
Yep.
Hate him. Dark heart.
Decorated with elf stuff. Hector, what do you do?
Hector had gone back down to the Hall of Whispers just to spend time there. He ends up just staying there the whole night until he eventually dozes off while listening to the 127th story in a row.
Absolutely. You spend your night, having recovered from this terrible illness, bathing in the lore of the island that is your home. You traipse through the many galleries of the Hall of Whispers and are regaled with the tales of dozens and then scores and then hundreds of artifacts, statues, and beautiful works of art that, through the magic mouth spells cast upon them, regale you with the stories of their prominence and important bits of history. And eventually, after hours of this, you do doze off in a small alcove between two statues and finally let sleep come upon you. Zurabak, what do you do this eve?
He gorges in the kitchen until they kick him out.
Fantastic.
And when they try to kick him out, he puts up a fight.
Naturally.
Zurabak, I'll tell you this. You gorge yourself in the kitchen, and some of the cooks, as it gets to be 2 a.m, some of the beleaguered cooking staff gives you the eye and makes a move to come remove you from the table. And just as you're about to roll up your sleeves to, do some work, Captain Kurz, the stunningly handsome half-orc paladin, marches into the College of Everspring's cafeteria, feast hall, where you currently are, and he starts cooking for them. He lets them all go, and he says, "You know what? You earned this one, big guy." And as the dawn rises, he starts making you flapjacks. You don't know if it's to appease you or to save the kitchen staff, and you don't give a fuck. So we'll say you doze off, having eaten your 8th plate of steaming hot flapjacks.
Yeah, I just sort of pass out at wherever the food was brought to me.
Yeah, no, you're at one of the tables, like literally face first into some flapjacks.
Food coma.
And if anybody tries to take what I haven't eaten, I just sleep growl at them.
Yeah. So you all pass the night with some much needed rest after an insane day. In Everspring. And you awake a bit late the next morning, except for you, Rilla, you're chilling. You are each awoken by a pair of dwarves in black lacquered armor. Each of you. Ruger and Rilla, there is a knock at your room doors, respectively, and when you open them, you see a pair of dwarves in black lacquered armor. Hektor, as you doze in this small alcove in a gallery in the Hall of Whispers, you are nudged slightly, and you open your eyes to see standing before you a pair of dwarves in black lacquered armor, and Zurabak across the table from you. As you blink the maple syrup out of your eyes and regain consciousness, you see across this table a pair of dwarves, and each of them, standing before each of you in your respective locales, has between them a black iron chest that they are hefting. Unbeknownst to you, simultaneously, across all of this space and all these different locations, these chests are dropped at the exact same time, and these dwarves say in unison, "By the order of the Iron Shogun, you have been rewarded for your hand in removing the scourge of Rockjoint. Take this gold as thanks, and know that you stand in good favor with the ruler of Grotmire." And then all of these dwarves immediately turn on their heels and leave.
As they do, Hektor stands up, and he, not sure what the local custom is, salutes and bows at the same time.
These dwarves are stone-faced, pardon the pun, but as the dwarves in front of you turn to leave, like, one of them side-eyes you and, like, gives a little, like, nod, like, "Yeah, he gets it. Yeah, all right. This guy's okay." Do you all open your chests?
Yes.
No.
I poke it for a while before I open it, just in case.
I go
I
straight for it.
do my morning ritual of taking my shirt and opening it a little bit wider.
There is no new stone. There are no new patches. Those of you that open your chests, you open them up to find them full of gold coins. They are all stamped. They are all beautifully crafted, perfectly made, perfectly even and equal in mass and shape and weight, and they are all beautifully stamped with a stylized eyeball in a ring. The logo of the Iron Shogun, the ruler of Grotmire. You all have, each of you, a chest of 3,000 gold pieces.
Oh.
You
go.
are the recipients of the fabulous wealth of the Iron Shogun.
Oh boy. Payday. Hello.
I think I might puke a little bit. Like, I'm just like, oh, fuck. Like, it's more money than I've ever seen in my life. Like, more than my tribe probably has. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
That's a fantastic point. Yeah, Rilla, this is definitely the most gold you've ever seen stacked up in one place. Gold's not really useful out in the forests.
nope.
your people trade with like, I don't know, bark shingles or whatever the fuck you guys
And
do.
that one weird village that apparently makes wine somewhere. They must have all the gold.
Yeah, Ruger, is this your biggest payday?
So Ruger looks out into the hallway in both directions and then stealthily takes that chest and hauls it back into the room of mermaids.
Yeah, you see as you look up down the hall, you see Rilla peeking out her door, staring at a giant chest as well.
I make eye contact with her, get a little shifty-eyed, lower the brim of my hat, and then pull my chest back in. And yeah, I feel like Ruger takes a little bit of time to appreciate his newfound wealth. I envision perhaps stacking coins and appreciating their perfect weight and measurement, balance, shape. I enjoy that.
Yeah, most currency in the lowlands and the freeholds is a little wild. There's not like a central mint, so a lot of gold coins are, they're either washed up relics of the old city-states, or they're, little lumps of gold that are roughly the right size. So yeah, this is definitely very well minted money. Hector, how's this gold treating you?
Hector can't particularly comprehend this amount. I think he's probably seen like these coins before, not often, but just living in a travel passage hub. He's seen a lot of different currencies, but never this much. And I feel like we kind of largely accept gold as like a, like outsiders use it, so we can use it with outsiders, but it's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's not.
Sure, you guys get paid in like grain and goats and shit because you live in the mountains, and so currency isn't necessary. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like if we have gold, it's not much at any time, and it just passes through our hands. A chest full of gold. We've seen chests that we thought, probably, like, what the fuck are they transporting?
Yeah.
I bet that's full of gold, kind of a thing, but I've never been allowed to open one and see that it's full of gold, and it's for me.
Yep. Zurabak, you don't open your chest?
No, Zurabak doesn't care.
Gotcha. Are you just still eating flapjacks?
Well, now that he's awoken, it depends. How long has he been asleep?
You've been asleep for about, we'll just say a full 8 hours.
Then he's going back to eating.
Gotcha. Yep. You notice that at some point during your reverie, at some point during your unconsciousness, Kurz has left. He is no longer back there with an apron on, cooking you flapjacks. The regular kitchen staff has returned, and you are surrounded once again by the morning rush of students and faculty of the College of Everspring, who are feasting all around you. The cooks are working double time to make food for them and for you specifically. So, crew, you all have a shit ton of money. You are in the town of Everspring, a sprawling cosmopolitan metropolis, full of shops of all shapes and sizes. I would like to know what you would like to do with your money.
Well, I know I want a haircut and a barber's beard trim. I'm thinking Ruger wants to get cleaned up from his long time on the road. I'm also thinking, although I know we got new attire when we got to the College of Everspring, I'm also contemplating perhaps upgrading the wardrobe a little bit,
So we're talking just a general glow up.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Right off the bat.
Maybe get some tailored clothing and a shave and a haircut and little upgrade.
Cool. We can definitely get to that. There is an entire subculture of fashion and hairstyles in this sprawling city. We can get that done. Rilla, what are you thinking?
I'm not sure. like out of character as Beth, right? Like, getting good equipment. One, I don't even know how much like magical shit we have in this world. You said like fancy shit's gonna be hard to come by, right?
Minor magical items are available for purchase in this city. Not hardcore shit, but minor stuff, fuck yeah. There is a thriving local economy of minor magical items.
Because
available
Rilla's
for
been
purchase.
whiffing quite a bit with her longbow. Like, it'd be cool to get a better one, but I just don't know how much better we could theoretically get. You know?
You could get up to a +1 weapon in this town.
Okay. So that might be of interest, just because I've missed a lot of shots.
Relatable.
Also-
Definitely relatable.
Also, I kind of want to start a bank account for my sister and like put 100 gold in it, like for later.
Elizabeth Jane Duffin, are you gonna fucking make me do banking?
Yes.
Are you gonna put that evil on me?
She needs a college fund, Samuel.
I hate everything, and I always have. Hector, what are you thinking? What are you thinking with your money?
Not much. I might invest some of it. The main thing.
God damn it to hell.
You gave us a bank one time, and you never should have done it.
In a previous campaign we played off of microphones, I came up with a very slipshod and badly designed banking aspect, which bit me in the ass.
And here we are, round 2, baby.
Yep. DMs at home, don't do it.
Yeah, I put all my money in the bank for that sweet, sweet extra money later.
Compounding interest, you see.
Yes.
But then to be fair, we put so much money in the bank and just let it gain interest so that we could just let it gain interest, and it became so much money, and then we also never used any of it.
Well, see, I wanted an airship, but then we just got one. So
Yeah.
Hey guys, let's not talk about a campaign that none of the listeners ever took part in. So, Hector, do you have any concept of what you'd like to do with this money?
I have some ideas as far as things to buy, just some basic. Probably want to stock up on maybe some like potions.
Yeah, I'm feeling some
that's
potions.
fair.
Probably want to go to a blacksmith and commission just a massive, ridiculously huge mall head, and then I'll take care of the rest.
All right, well, it sounds like, given your new windfall, we might need to have a market day. So for convenience sake, you guys all meet up in the hallway outside all of your rooms.
I mean, Zurabak doesn't leave the cafeteria if they don't stop feeding him.
I wouldn't turn down breakfast. It's reasonable that after a hearty sleep, Ruger, Rilla, and Hector make their way down to the cafeteria for a hearty breakfast. And Zurabak in his chest.
You know what? That's a way better scene. Yeah, you guys all get a hankering for some food, and yeah, you guys all head down to the feast hall. Zurabak has 20 plates in front of him, all empty and smudged with grease and leavings, and a beleaguered busboy is taking away the stack of plates and returning with another stack of plates as you all sit down in the very incredibly available seats all around Zurabak that definitely no one else is sitting in. Everyone's giving him a wide berth. But yeah, you all sit down and see that next to Zurabak is one of those same chests that you've got. Yeah.
Morning, lizard. I grunt back. It's code, you see.
Right. Since I also am keeping track of Zurabak's money, since he refuses to hold it or acknowledge that it's his, I'm going to go ahead and add that 3,000 golds to the Zurabak's money that I hold on to and control for some reason.
Yep, that's real life.
Yep.
Nailed it.
It's a noble thing you're doing.
I make a bacon sandwich with a piece of toast in the middle. I do.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's the good
Yeah, you
stuff.
do.
I honestly am looking hard at those flapjacks, so... and a rasher of bacon. I definitely need a rasher of bacon.
Yeah, you get down on some you got a hard adventure hangover, you get down on a big steaming pile of flapjacks and some bacon. Really, you make a nice bacon sandwich. Hector, anything in particular you're chowing down on?
Meat's good and all, but I also just have a massive bowl of bland oatmeal.
Yeah, fuck yeah, that's that good old boy shit. It sticks to your ribs, it's warm and very filling.
Coffee. Do they have coffee?
They got all the coffee.
Okay.
What are you even talking about? They have fucking espresso.
Ruger wants... Oh, okay. See, that hit Alex. Okay, let's get back to Ruger for a second. Ruger wants a deep roast coffee. Okay.
Yeah, you get a lovely mug of coffee. So yeah, you guys get down and munch on some wonderful breakfast food prepared by the wonderfully appointed cafeteria of the College of Everspring. As you're all eating and daydreaming about what the fuck you might spend your money on, haircuts and bows and massive mall heads and nothing. You are all approached by a familiar face.
Is it the meat squire?
It is not the meat squire. The meat squire has unfortunately been written out of the show until the final battle, where they will prove to be the most powerful ally you've ever spurned.
Yeah. We will be recasting the actor, though, because we had a lot of attitude issues with him.
Yeah, some behind-the-scenes drama.
He kept yelling at craft services. We can't have that. We can't have that. Anyway, familiar form approaches you all. Lore Master Holland, the lore master that you were first introduced to when you came here to the College of Everspring, the only lore master you've met, walks down the cafeteria towards your table. The students and faculty in her wake respectfully hush up and nod deferentially as she makes her way through. She's wearing a silver robe with voluminous sleeves, her hands tucked in to each sleeve, and her silver hair swept back in a bun held with a silver net. She walks over to you, gaunt, with large sunken eyes, and says, "Well, you've all made quite the impression, considering the short time you've been in town. How are you all feeling this morning after, well, slaying an ancient illness that could have destroyed the cornerstone of civilization on the island?"
I mean, when you put it that way, I feel like I wasn't paid well enough.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Wow. That's... Wow. Yeah. Here I am halfway through my bacon.
We were honored to do our part.
Well, it was rather impressive. Nearly as impressive as the tale you told and the secrets you revealed when you first arrived here.
Yep.
The lore masters need time to smooth things out with the dwarves in Grotmire to get the jade veins that you uncovered flowing again. It will take a frustratingly long time to tie off all the loose ends. There will be time before you are given the audience you are so rightfully owed to tell your tale to the Council of Lore Masters proper. I think about a week should do it. In that time, you are of course free to explore the city, do what you will, take in the local color, maybe spend some of that gold that the Iron Shogun has delivered. It is almost as impressive that you so quickly gained the good graces of so severe a ruler as the Iron Shogun. But in any case, we will call on you in about a week. You will bring yourselves, your artifacts, and the special guest you brought to our college before the lore masters, and we shall decide how best to move forward and aid you in your important work. Until then, if you need anything, you can ask myself or Captain Kurz. We can facilitate any needs you have. The college is yours to explore, as is the city of Everspring, and I'm sure the holds of Grotmire. Make yourselves at home.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for accepting us into your city.
Thank you for having such a disproportionate impact from the moment you set foot here. There's already whispers that you are officially protagonists. There's little doubt in my mind, but there's, well, rituals to truly proclaiming you such. In any case,
Ooh.
I wish you all the best. Call upon me if you need me. I will bid you all adieu.
Adieu.
And with that, Lord Master Holland turns on a heel, and she strolls calmly out of the cafeteria, again leaving a wake of hushed, reverent susurrations behind her as she makes her way out. And you all have 1 week of free time to explore the city, to do whatever you want. You have a week of free time. You have 3,000 gold apiece before we get back to the meat and potatoes of the main quest. And you have time to do whatever you'd like. So I'd like to sort of sketch out in the abstract a little bit, and we can focus in more on, specifics as we go. But given a week of free time in this new city, I would kind of like to figure out what you all would like to do in general, and then we can kind of focus in on particular things that we think are significant. But I don't know. We'll start with Rilla. Rilla, you have a week of free time. You are in a sprawling metropolis. There is a college. There is the city proper with all of its shops and curiosities, unplumbed depths of culture and civilization. There is the holds of Grotmire below, all the craftsmen and guilds and all that stuff. What would you like to do for a week? Does anything jump to mind? Any projects you'd like to work on, things you'd like to pursue or explore?
Well, I'm definitely not into hanging out in the crowds of a giant city.
Yep, that makes sense.
Necessarily. I think what Rilla does probably is disguises herself as a student, like a generic student, and then sits in on lectures. I think that's what she does.
Amazing. Fucking dope. Yeah, disguised as co-ed number 3. You, sneak in magically disguised, and you are able to take in a surprising volume of knowledge. The classes taught here are taught regularly by a dedicated staff of professors who share through lectures, through lecture, sometimes song, their expertise. You learn things about history. You learn things about agriculture. You learn things about technology and some of the more intricate workings of the water wheels and industry below. You learn some things about philosophy. Is there any particular field that you focus on as far as these lectures and education is concerned?
I'm debating because, one, Rilla's never really been allowed to just be around people her own age.
Sure.
Ignoring the elven aging thing, like other teenagers.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Yeah, your peer group.
Yeah, so I think like part of it is just like any class that has people that seem interesting that you could maybe talk to a little bit, like not crazy, but I also think that she would be interested in specifically like the bardic magic because it's adjacent to like what she can do. And she was
Absolutely.
the only person besides her aunt with magic. So seeing anyone else cast could be really fascinating, I think.
There is an entire course on magic taught at this school. It is taught by a professor whose name is Cassandra Crestfall. She is a human.
Wait, do I need to write that down? Let me write that down, just in case.
I mean, if that's going to be your favorite professor, I would suggest you do. I did.
Cassandra what?
Cassandra Crestfall.
Crestfall. Okay.
Alliteration, bitches.
Mm-hmm.
Cassandra Crestfall is a very serious and no-nonsense human woman who is a master of bardic magic. She specializes mostly in enchantment and illusion, as is the bardic way. And you are spellbound almost immediately by the intricacy of her illusion magic, and she spots your disguise almost instantly.
Yep.
She doesn't say anything until after class, but after one of the lectures, she comes up to you and says, interesting. Transmutation as opposed to illusion? I suppose that's one way to get there. Rather uncomfortable, I'd say.
I mean, I think it's pretty fun, personally, you know? But I let it kind of dissolve off. When you've got these big old honking ears, you know, you just kind of want to blend in sometimes.
Oh, don't get me wrong, dear. It is an impressive casting, but the transmutation moves all of your organs and bones around. An illusion,
I love that part.
To each their own. I prefer to just lay a glamour and let it go, but I guess it's your body. So you pass much of this week attending some lectures, and then you meet this professor of illusion magic. And you learn quite a bit about the depths of bardic magic and how it differs from sorcery. Which is something you never learned before. Bards take their magic from the magical energies of the story, the divine energies used to weave the tapestry, as opposed to sort of like wild arcane variants in their bloodline. It's something you fall into pretty quickly. Very cool. Ruger Firehide, you got a week of free time.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of money. Well, you know what? We're just going to shop at the end, because that's pretty crunchy. That's going to get crunchy with us. I know us.
Yes.
And
right.
We'll get into that.
Right. Narratively, here is the vibe I feel like Ruger is looking for. Okay. First, I think Ruger would very much enjoy going to the bathhouse alone, where he might actually bathe, and, enjoy a little bit of time to himself. I would also, Ruger's been on the road for quite some time. Freeholds, Badlands, dust, dirt, grit. So a good, stylish haircut is in order. A beard trim, a shave, a little bit of a pamper. I'm also
Ruger Firehide. You're a relatively old human man, and you've been around the block. You've been to Everspring before, right? That's in your backstory. You've lived here before for a couple years.
Correct.
You know the best place in town to get a shave, and that's Sal's. You've gone to Sal for a haircut just about every couple weeks that you lived in Everspring before, and as you weave through the intricately colored street system of the rainbow city of Everspring, you, on bated breath, round the last corner to see if Sal's shop is still there, and just like out of a dream, that rusty iron sculpture of a giant pair of scissors swings in the mountain breeze before the fairly splintery old shop that Sal frequents, and this ancient dwarf with an immaculately trimmed beard and styled eyebrows, greets you warmly as you enter in the same fashion he has every single time you've entered before, and wordlessly grabs a bib, wraps it around your neck, and just gets to work.
Yep. I tell him he doesn't look a day over 800. That's definitely, a byline. And yeah, sharp shave, nice haircut. You mentioned eyebrows, might as well, just get it.
Oh yeah, he gets you
Yeah.
He gets you trimmed up right and proper.
Yeah.
He gives you the
Nose
number
hairs,
2, and he gives you the number 2, and bam, when you're coming out of that, you're fucking sparkling.
Yep.
Get a full haircut and shave. What? For the fan art, like, what are we talking? Like, is the beard gone, or is it trimmed?
No,
Are we
so-
long hair, short hair? What's the deal?
So I view Road Ruger as having a bit of an unkempt and kind of wild beard and a little bit longer, mangier hair. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
Ruger is a man who spends a lot of time on the road, but when he makes it into town for any meaningful amount of time, he takes advantage of that. So I'm thinking as far as beard cut, he cut it close and well cropped, sharp city beard. And as far as haircut, probably close trim on the sides and back and a little bit, swooped over on the top or whatever, but,
Dope. Yeah,
basically
you
cut
come
and
out looking
close.
like $1 million.
Yeah.
Old Sal hooks you up right. You get a couple whistles as you walk out the shop from passersby. You're looking like $1 million.
Yeah. I also maybe pick up, one of Sal's classic bottles of cologne, some of that dwarven musk that the ladies just love.
It's earthy, but in a good way.
Yeah.
It smell like the stone.
So here's some other things that Ruger would like to accomplish.
Yeah.
Dry cleaners, get the clothes sewn up, cleaned up, pressed. Might add a couple of things to the wardrobe, maybe a higher end outfit to fit the city nightlife. Something black and gold trim, something I don't know.
Oh fuck yeah, yeah. No, it's beautiful. You get a nice maybe a nice tight-fitting short jacket with a dramatic collar and some boots and pants to match.
Yeah.
It's all black with gold trim. It's fucking amazing. It's got a double row of buttons. It's delicious.
I would also like to give Cole, my horse, the treatment as well. The whole 9 yards as far as what the stable has available. Bath. Horseshoes, new horseshoes.
Yeah, you get your horse detailed
Yes,
for
thank
sure.
you. Yes, I want to make sure that Cole is well taken care of and Maiden.
Yeah, they brush his fucking teeth. Like your horse is literally sparkling
Fantastic.
as it dressages out of the car wash. I mean horse wash.
Glossing over a little bit of the crunch, I think Ruger might be looking at possibly upgrading weaponry, if not masterwork.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at number 1, +1 weaponry, but we can circle back to that. But narratively, last piece, Ruger would like to pay a visit to a backstory character. And
I got the perfect thing for that, Ruger. You send word to an old friend. Someone from your past life, and you agree on the normal meeting spot, a favorite tavern that the two of you shared when you lived here for a short time before. You all head to the very poorly named Flying Crown Tavern. It is the second holiest hole in the wall that Everspring has to offer, which means it is 3 times fancier than any inn in the freeholds, or any tavern in the freeholds. And as you grab a seat and order a drink, you are greeted by the welcome sight of an old friend you haven't seen in quite a while. Faustin walks in. His large, doughy frame takes up the entire door, and he cracks the knuckles in his massive hands nervously as he scans the bar for you, and then locks eyes with you, and shuffles over in his ponderous way to your table, and says, I gotta be honest, I was pretty surprised to hear you were back in town, Ruger. It's been quite a while.
You and me both, friend. But, sometimes that's the story Narrativa tells. So, here I am, and I think it's time I pay my due.
Well, it's always good to see family. If I can still call you family.
You can, now and always. You've done right by me, and you did right by her. Faustin, it's a pleasure to see you, buddy.
He sighs deeply at that, orders a drink, and, sits down at the table with you. Have you, seen the old ball and chain since you've been in town, Ruger? Shira's been busy since you've been gone. Seems the breakup wasn't, as catastrophic as I had feared it might be, considering how abrupt it was.
Well, she was busy to begin with, friend. But look, no, I haven't seen her, and quite frankly, I'm not so certain I'm inclined to. That's why you and I are meeting. I know the way we left it, not right, but look, I don't know how to do this, but I've come into some money, and I feel like it's appropriate for her to get some. I don't know any other way to do this other than to ask you to do it. So, would you be so kind as to deliver this to her? No muss, no fuss, just here.
Now, Ruger, that's classic. That's just a hoot and a half, partner. You wander into town, the same town your ex-wife still lives in, and the first thing you do is make a splash bigger than a hog in a well. And then you're gonna just go ahead and flash your money around? Look at you. Sharper than a knife, dressed to the nines, and you came into some money? You think Shira, you think the woman you walked out on is gonna want a red cent from you, friend? You might be out of your damn mind, Firehide.
Well, shit, I might be. But yes, Look, I didn't intend to make a splash. The splash happened to me. Here I was moseying about the freeholds, doing my part to make the world a better place. And you know what happened? Destiny fell in my fucking lap. And that destiny led me here. And led me to a shit pot full of gold. And I thought, you know what? Perhaps I might do something good with that gold. But here you are, Faustin. You're just gonna rub my face in it. Okay. All right. You know what? I think I need another drink. And I flagged out another round.
Yeah, you guys get another round. Faustin says, you know, Firehide, a more cynical type might think that you were just peacocking. Trying to maybe remind Shira what she's been missing. I got some bad news for you. She's been real busy, like planning a wedding busy. you may have swooped into town just in time to save us from that plague or whatever, but your timing could not be worse.
When? Okay. Well, that's... Yeah, waiter, can I get double shot of whiskey along with that ale, please? Yeah, that'd be...
And we'll leave it at that for now. Hector.
Oh, hi, I'm Hector.
Hi, Hector. Been a while. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm just great. You have a week in the town of Everspring. You have a shit ton of money. Any ideas what you'd like to do with your week? Of free time?
Yeah, I have two things.
What's up?
So, like I say, early on, I would like to seek out a blacksmith
Mm-hmm.
and commission a massive hunk of metal with spikes on it.
That will take me roughly 6.5 days, I think. Says the blacksmith that I just created.
Okay, and his name is...
Oh, his name is...
Creating things without names. Ugh.
I know, that's so shitty. Hold on. The blacksmith that is able to fill out your requisition is, surprisingly enough, one of the smallest halflings you've ever come across. Their name is Eston. 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 He corrects your pronunciation of it 13 times, but he is the only blacksmith willing to take a chunk of metal the size of like a horse's skull and shape it into a square hammerhead that you're able to find. And yeah, he says that will take me about 6.5 days.
Thank you, Eston. Your work.
It is Eston.
Ethan was...
Stan.
It is Eston.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Come back in 6.5 days.
And then I would like to go to the Hall of Whispers
Okay.
and seek out Moonbeam.
Yeah, she is easily available. You head to the Hall of Whispers. You're gonna need to buy a membership card at this point just to save on those ticket purchases. But yeah, Moonbeam is available anytime you need. Oh, Hector, it's so good to see you. It's been very nice that you've taken such an interest in the hall here. I've noticed you scurrying about through all the galleries and digesting everything. It's how do you feel your knowledge of our history has improved?
To be honest, I think I've probably overdosed myself on stories. They're kind of running together in my head. At least some of them were playing while I was sleeping. That affected my dreams weirdly.
I wonder what that mumbling was. Yes, it'd be lovely if we could write it all down. Anyway, what can I do for you, Hector?
Well, this is the most incredible place I have ever been in or seen or heard about. I truly think that the work that you are doing here is the absolutely most important work that anybody is doing. I have recently found myself with nothing to do but wait here in town for the next week. And so I was wondering if you need any help. I can carry things really well. I'm good at climbing. You know, I have skills.
Moonbeam looks puzzled for just a moment. She masks it pretty quickly, and she's, well, of course, there's something I could have you do around here. Yes. Hector, that is incredibly sweet. I appreciate the offer, and we'll absolutely find something for you to do. For right now, this is a little awkward considering what you've done for the town already, but I don't have time to sweep the back galleries. Could you maybe just kind of sweep that up? And then we can move on to more important stuff later? That's a pressing need.
Anything that can help. I
Great.
did wonder if there was possibly something that I could get in exchange from you specifically.
Like what?
Was wondering if you could teach me.
Teach you what, Hector?
I'm never going to be the type of person that has the time to go through a formal education system, but a bard is kind of the only thing I've ever wanted to be. And I don't want it to just be an honorary.
Hector, are you asking me to train you to become a bard in truth? To be one of the tellers of the story?
Is that something that it's okay for me to ask for? I don't know.
Considering everything you and your friends have done for us since yesterday afternoon, absolutely, I would be delighted. I'd be honored. I met very few people that seem to love stories as much as you, Hector. I couldn't dream of a more eager student. We'll begin immediately.
Okay, where's the broom?
All right, Zurabak, they've hired an extra shift in the kitchens. They've fired up some backup. What's up?
The fools.
Yes, they've started an extra shift. They've fired up some old reserve ovens that they didn't have going, even when the place is at full staff. They are making food for you at this point 24/7. Your help in stopping Rock Joint has more than earned you a right to just gorge yourself even for a week. Their food stores here are impressive. Is there any... I just want to set that up beforehand. There's enough food for you to just eat for a week. Is there anything else you wanted to do in that week?
If they keep feeding him, he's not leaving.
Fantastic. You glut yourself on the...
He'll need someone to wheelbarrow him out.
Oh, for sure.
And
yeah,
Snake.
You cause a couple grumbles the first few days, but after a while, there's a band of students and faculty that are actively betting on when you will stop eating, and that started this small sort of like micro economy in the kitchens. There are some cooks that are making more and more bizarre dishes, trying to see if they can break you. They're putting so much cayenne and spices on everything. They're putting like fucking nightmare peppers on shit to see if you will stop, and you just don't. You think somebody may have just accidentally put a little poison in something, but you just digest right through it. And yeah, by day like 5 and 6, there's literally a crowd of students like chanting around you as you down your 87th bowl of gruel. Yeah, you are turning into a local celebrity in the dining hall, and they're more than happy to feed you because you're fucking terrifying, and that's keeping you from doing anything else in town. So that's, yeah. Good shit.
Whenever Hector realizes just how long this has been going on, he's gonna quietly slip. Let's just go ahead and say a full 1,000 gold out of Zurabak's money to the kitchen workers.
Yeah. Overtime. Good shit. That definitely cushions the blow to the college's infrastructure. Yeah. Well, Rilla, is there anything else in particular you wanted to? So you had mentioned that you were uncomfortable traveling around the city streets crammed with people. The interesting thing about the city of Everspring is that it is held within a gigantic bowl at the pinnacle of this cluster of mountains. There is an entire ecosystem around the city. There's a patch of forest to the north, and the city is butted up against a large lake, Lake Dame Noom. So there are plenty of wild places and environments that you could also navigate if you so choose.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, Rilla for sure does that, at least a little. Like, just forest for sure. An empty forest with no one else in it, very cool. But it's not like I can do it. You know, it's like, what does she do by herself besides sit there? Because, like, I could hunt, maybe? But, I mean, it's not like she could read a book or write a letter or, like, all the shit you'd kind of introspectively put on a character. So, like, you know, she's alone a lot. So maybe she does a bit of that. But, I think the fascination for her is probably mostly the university, because it's, like, crowded, but it's not fishbowl crowded, and she can do the anonymity and get schooling. I stumbled on anonymity there a little bit, sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah, I think she's mostly just chilling in the college, because, like, that's fascinating to her.
Very cool. So, as you are chilling in the college and auditing lectures, especially in the class of Cassandra Crestfall, Enchantment and Illusion Master, you are able to protect your anonymity to a great extent. The only one that sees through your spellcasting is Cassandra herself, the teacher of the class. But you do start to attract some attention from the regular students, particularly the obvious, like, valedictorian of this particular class. There is a lean elf with red hair and blue-tinged skin that has gills that is taking this class. He wears like kind of sparse athletic clothing, like sort of like gym shorts and a tank top kind of vibe. But he is incredibly intelligent and grasps the fineries of this magic very quickly. And one day after class, he kind of sidles up to you. Says, "Hello there, Sheila. How are you?"
Samuel. What? What's a Sheila? I'm not Sheila.
Sorry, love. That was a bit off the mark there. The name's Colin. What might I call you?
I guess I need to make a decision here, because if that teacher caught me, am I still hiding who I am? Or have I dropped it, because who gives a shit if the teacher knows? I'm probably still hidden. You can call...
Hey, real quick, what do you look like when you're altering yourself to go to this class? Is it the same disguise every time?
Honestly, Rilla probably, like, has the same face, but a different, like a different species every day, just to see if anybody catches that shit.
Sure.
At least for this class, because I think the teacher would find that funny. I think in general, for other classes, she has, like, one... It's probably just a human version of herself she walks around as, but for this class, I have been everything, but with the same face.
Sure. So you look like a dwarf with Rilla's face.
Yeah. Today.
This guy sidles up to you and says, yeah, what can I call you?
Staples.
I'm sorry, I need a minute because of Staples. Oh, fuck.
Because she looked around the room, obviously. So.
Yeah, you look around the room and you see some staples, which are used for paper that has no value. Really? I couldn't help but notice the same face every time, but different. Boys, it's a powerful magic you got there. It's impressive.
Thank you. What's up with the gills? You're a...
Oh, I'm a sea elf, and got a small group of us. You know, breathe water through the gills. We live out in the lake. Got kind of a sweet deal out there. It's kind of nice. Most of my folks, they're part of the Circle of the Reed, but you know, college kid, you know, striking out on my own. I was just wondering, you know, do you want to grab a bite sometime or something? You know, seem kind of interesting. Just throwing that out there.
Hey, Sam, can I transform into a sea elf?
Yeah, you can.
Cool, I just slowly do that as he's talking to me. Like from feet up.
Yeah, you slowly turn into a sea elf, and his aquamarine eyes go wide. He's oh, well, it's impressive.
This feels weird. I don't like your gills.
Well,
they're kind of dry.
Well, I'll tell you the secret to that is Staples, is you gotta go for a swim. If you got the gills, you gotta go for a swim. And I know the perfect place to go for a swim if you care to join me.
Yeah, all right.
Sweet. Yeah, and you go out. He leads you out of the back of the college, which actually hangs over Lake Danium, and he walks to the end of one of the piers built into the back of the school and winks at you and just effortlessly jumps out from the dock and just dives directly into the lake. Do you follow suit?
All right, so what would the roll be to do better than him? Please be dexterity.
Roll me a swim check. If you're trying to outdo him in the water, roll a swim check.
I have no skills or strength for that,
sure
so that's
don't.
going to be rough. All right, let's get ready for this belly flop. Where the fuck are my dice? See, we said we weren't rolling today.
You brought this on yourself.
You know what?
You gotta one-up, motherfuckers. That's...
I got it, man. I'm just going to use the Google roll a dice thing.
There we go.
Classic.
It does a pretty good job.
Roll a d20. I got a 15.
Yeah, you do a little better than he does. He splashes into the water, and you cause just a fewer ripples when you dive in, and immediately you are in the crystal clear fresh water of Lake Danium, this perfect, beautiful lake butting up against the city of Everspring. And you can tell almost as soon as you get in here, this place is tended to by druids. All of the aquatic greenery, all of the plants and stuff drifting in the waters of the lake underneath are a lush, verdant, bright green, and there is every size and shape of fish, freshwater fish, floating around in this lake. You see some toads and frogs and some turtles and stuff, and they're all a little bigger than they should be. And you go swimming with Colin there, who guides you to a small cluster of these like little stone huts that are under the water, and there's a group of aquatic elves just kind of chilling, sort of hanging out underneath the lake. He tries to introduce you to them. Jumping back to Ruger Firehide. Hey, Ruger.
Hey, it's me.
So you're sitting with your buddy, Faustin, who just informed you that Shira, your ex-wife, is planning a wedding.
Yep, that all tracks so far.
So you guys are in the Flying Crown, a couple drinks in. And he says, well, Ruger, I mean, you can't be too surprised, right? I mean, it's been how long since you ran out of here?
Long enough, I guess. Look, Faustin, you called me a peacock, and fuck you for that. But look, friend, good for Shira, good for her to move on. She was always better at it than I was anyways. I feel bad about how I left, and it ain't about peacocking, it ain't about money, it's just a gesture, man. It's just something to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for it all. I'm sorry for what happened. I'm sorry for what it did to me. And I'm sorry. So we just give it to her.
If you want to give Shira, let's call it a wedding present, I guess that wouldn't be completely out.
Well, shit, man, that's kind of a dick move. I don't know. Like, I'm not. It does not need to be some grand gesture. It can be Tuesday in March or whatever. Like, just
will you listen to me?
Trying.
Someone that's lost, like we lost. Someone that's hurt, like you and her and me. Someone that's been as alone as a person can be. They deserve happiness, like you said. Shira's finding somebody looked like when you came into town. If rumors are true, you got a whole crew now. It's not just you and a deputy.
Yeah, well, obviously there's a reason I don't have a deputy, friend. And listen, crew, I don't know, man. I stepped in a pile of horse shit. Stuff's happening, and I don't know why. I don't know why me, but it is, and they're a part of it, and for the time being, so am I. So, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, as you know me to do. And look, man, I'm just asking you for the one thing. It doesn't have to be a big deal. I don't want it to be a big deal. Right?
I'll reach out to Shira. I'll get a feel for what she'd like, and I'll see what I can do. Hell, after all this time, she might want to dress you down to your face herself. Well, that'll be a sight to see.
Yeah, if that could be avoided, if that be... Look, Faustin, waiter, I'll take another drink, please. Faustin, look, seriously, just just wait, till I'm gone or whatever. Just gestures and such. I don't need the conflict. I don't think she does either. So, bygones, whatever.
All right. How much you wanting to leave her?
Well, I feel like a 1,000 gold pieces.
1,000 gold pieces? Ruger, what the hell? Where'd you get that kind of money?
Well, look,
Bartender,
friend,
we're going to need that whole pitcher off that top shelf, and I mean now. I'm rich. We're rich. What are you talking about, 1,000 gold? You know what?
Fast it. Bring it down, friend. Yes. Yeah. So it may have been a gilded pile of horse shit. I might have precluded that detail. It's fine.
Boo-hoo. Fate brought you into 1,000. Fate's twisted hand gave you 1,000 gold piece. You know what? I'm tired of your sob stories, Fireeye. Hey, Hector.
Hey.
You're training with Moonbeam. We got there at the same time. You're training with Moonbeam. After sweeping the back room, she gets to it proper. And you spend a lot of time telling stories. You are reciting for Moonbeam stories you've heard from your time in the gates, and she has you reciting stories to her almost 24/7. Every time you come to her and think you're going to be training, she just has you stand stock still and recite stories from memory, and she gives you notes, more passion, less emphasis, trying to get you emotionally attached to these tales that you tell. She has you do this for 3 days straight, just telling stories for hours, till your throat is sore, till you're out of breath, without really any explanation for what she's doing. On the 4th day as you're telling a story, do you have your dice out? Roll me a perform check. I didn't wait for an answer to that question. There's going to be some lovely cutting on this episode. I can feel it.
No, I'm good. I had my dice ready.
Fantastic.
All right, perform. Let's go. 8.
Yeah, so on about the 4th day, you're telling a story, and you're trying as hard as you can to put some force into it, but it's just falling a little flat. And Moonbeam says, Hector, why do you want to be a bard? Why do you want to pursue this path? You're a powerful, strong warrior. The might of the mountains flows through your blood. I've heard of your prowess in combat. You're a very good warrior. Why would you want to become a bard in the first place?
There's a lot of stories about great warriors that they live on, truly finding a sense of immortality. How many warriors more have there been over the centuries whose tales haven't been told?
I suppose many more than have had their tales told? Probably an incalculable amount now that I think about it.
There needs to be people there to tell the tale so that we can remember.
A noble goal indeed. Hector, if you want to pursue this path, if you want to become a bard, you have to feel the weight and the power of the stories. Reality, the world around us, is a story that two gods are telling to each other. Narrativa and Protos back and forth, creating from nothingness everything you see. You and me, the ceiling, the floor, every artifact in this place, and the magical power required to let them tell their own tale. You have to feel the primal power of stories. You have to channel it. You have to invest yourself fully in the telling of a tale, to feel that rhythm, that flow, to feel at one with the tapestry. That is how we are able to do the things we do here. She shows you the palm of her hand, and 4 glowing lights appear, spinning around each other. We can manipulate the very fabric of the tapestry woven around us because we share the essence, the narrative, the creative power of the storyteller. She closes her fist. It's a real, tangible thing. You have to feel it. What is your favorite story?
Favorite story. Have you heard the story of the settling of Giant's Rest?
The epic tale of how the Gatekeeper clan drove out the Grimlocks that resided in the old giant stronghold and took control of the mountain pass their very selves?
Yeah.
It's a grand tale. Quite a long one, too.
It is, yeah, it's a bit of an epic, but I guess it means a lot to me personally.
Why don't we start with that one? You are going to recite that story to me every day as best as you can, and I want you to feel the snowfall upon your brow as the Gatekeeper clan races across treacherous cliff faces to fight off the scourge that resides in what will be their homeland. I want you to hear the war cries of your ancestors as they form ranks to do battle against the forces of darkness. I want you to live the story. I want you to be there. And I want to be taken there with you in the telling. Can you do that?
I can only try.
Let's get started. Zurabak. You have eaten food for 6 straight days. You've only taken breaks to sleep, which mercifully on your ailing body has gotten longer and longer each passing day. First it's 8, then it's 10 hours, then just 12 hours straight, as your ability to move is lessened and lessened more and more with each passing day. And on the 6th day, Snake goes to wrap its unhinged jaw around another smoked duck, and he just can't fit any more in. He literally can't put any more food in him. He's about to he looks like a football at this point instead of a snake. And as you go to put another mouthful of just cooked beef into your face, you realize you physically can't put more food in your body. The wheelbarrow underneath you, the axle cracks under your weight as you try in vain to jam this beef into your gullet, and it just won't go. What goes through your head?
Zurabak looks over at Snake.
Snake tries to hiss and just can't. This is all you get from Snake.
Zurabak nods. And then he just sort of lays there.
As your hand falls to the side of the wheelbarrow and the hunk of meat, this last Everest you are unable to climb, falls to the cobblestone floor of this beautiful feast hall. The ring of 24 students and faculty members that were waiting on bated breath for the moment you'd stop erupt in a chorus of cheers. Half of them collapse, their faces buried in their hands as they lose their entire fortune, having lost this epic bet, and an insane amount of wealth has changed hands as finally finally the end of this saga has come, and you've made many men and women and people in general very wealthy and ruined countless others, as they did not place their bets on this particular hour on this particular day. You fade into unconsciousness as two very, very strong students load you onto a reinforced wheelbarrow and ask where you'd like to be taken. You hear them mutter something to the effect of, I don't know, he's a druid, let's put him in the woods. And that's the last thing you hear as your eyes close. And I think that's where we're going to leave this particular episode. Rilla has gone to class, potentially made a new friend in the lake. Hektor is training to become a bard. Ruger is trying to navigate the moving on of his ex-wife, and Zurabak has literally eaten himself into what will resolve into a small coma. And we will pick up next time with the end of this week, see if any of our projects or pursuits or budding relationships have paid off, and get into some finances as we buy some shit and get ready for whatever the Council of the Lore Masters brings. And yeah, that is where we shall end things. I don't usually belabor the sign-off this much. The momentum's too much now, and I don't know what to do to bail. Someone please help me. How do we end the show usually?
Penis.
Can't put that. That's not going to be in it. That's not going to be in the show.
Oh, but it's so good. The penis.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Hello and welcome to As the Dice Turns, the podcast after the podcast, where we take a deep dive into our player characters' psychology, their characterizations, their motivations, and try to get a better understanding of them as people. In this part of the show, we like to ask each of our protagonists a question and see if we can't unearth some deeper meaning behind who they are. Today, our question is, what is your greatest achievement? All of our protagonists have lived fairly exciting lives, especially in the block of time that we've been following their exploits, and they've all lived lives before we even came upon them. It will be interesting to see what they each consider their own greatest achievement, and considering the very interesting things they've been able to pull off over the course of our adventure. So, we'll start this time with Zurabak, King of the Shocker Lizards, Champion of the Goats, Emperor of Rats. Zurabak, welcome to the studio. How are you today?
Disappointed.
I'm terribly sorry to hear that, Zurabak. Is there any particular reason?
The upgrades on your Roombas are disappointing.
Because they're keeping you from eating them, or they're not stopping you from eating them?
Not stopping me in the slightest.
Well, that was my bad. I put poison dart launchers on the Roombas, and I should have known that you are nearly immune to poison. That was my bad. It was bad call on my part. That was bad planning. And I can see there's still some Roomba crumbs just all over your mouth and in your lap. So I'm going to have to think of some new countermeasures for the Roombas. Yeah, but in any case, after you get that latest Roomba down your gullet, the question today is, what is your greatest achievement, Zurabak, in the long and brutal and disgusting life you've led? What do you consider to be your greatest achievement so far? No idea what that might be. I figured someone with as high in opinion of themselves as you do would have no shortage of examples of great works. I mean, you've stopped a town from being on fire. Well, you helped stop a town from being on fire. You've done battle with the forces of evil. You've helped to just, poke the shit out of what turned out to be the Stricken over the course of this adventure. That was, pretty funny at the time.
Yeah, the squeals just don't do it for me anymore.
Yeah, well, that was turned out it was all charade. That had to be disappointing. Nothing strikes you as your greatest achievement. Not I don't know, blowing up that clock tower and dropping an entire building on top of Varix like you did with Hector, or shielding your friends from the horrible cloud of ravens that was flying around the necropolis. None of that feels like a great achievement?
Nah.
Okay. Well,
just seems all kind of dull.
Wow. Well, that's pretty high standards then. What would you consider to be a great achievement? What would meet the bar of great achievement in your mind? I shudder to ask.
That's a good question.
Oh my God.
Zurabak would have to say.
Sharon, did we get that? That's recorded, right? That's recorded. Sharon, you got that? Fuck yes.
While he's distracted, Zurabak puts the host hand in his mouth.
No, Zurabak, no. God damn it, no. Sharon, we need another tetanus shot. Fuck, man. That's what I get for looking away. That's my bad. Do you have an answer for my good question, Zurabak? Delicious.
Zurabak just licks his lips.
I've ruined it, haven't I? I've ruined the moment, and now I won't get. Okay, thanks for coming, Zurabak. I'll keep my mouth shut next time with my very good questions. Next, we've got Hector, who I will hide behind. Hector, if you just want to sit down really quick, just real quick, and I'm just going to stand behind you. How you doing today, Hector?
I can sit the quickest of anybody.
That was very quick.
Quickly.
That was very quick. I'm impressed. Hector, it's a pleasure to have you in the studio. How are you today?
I'm quite good. How about yourself?
I'm also good. Thanks for asking. The question.
Can I just say, incidentally, that jacket you're wearing, can barely see the stain on your shirt. Good job. Well covered.
I appreciate that. It was mustard, and so what I figured I'd do is just sort of roll around in some yellow paint I found. I figured if I just devastate the whole blazer with yellow paint, you couldn't even see the mustard. And boy, it's really saved me a lot of embarrassment. It's a little stiff, but I appreciate you appreciating my blend. Yeah. Desperate times, call for paint on your clothes. Hector, the question today is, what do you consider your greatest achievement? In the storied life you've led as a mountain guide, as the son of a chieftain, as the favored son of Giant's Rest, where the Gatekeeper clan lives, as a seasoned now adventurer who's fought the forces of evil, what do you consider your greatest achievement?
There could be a few answers. Probably the most important things I've done for society as a whole are more recent, and you already know about.
That's true. I hope you're referring to the incredibly important work of ending the rock joint plague.
That and other things I've done since setting out on adventure. But let me tell you about a great personal achievement.
I can't wait.
I was but 14 years old.
Another flashback. Love it.
Just a skinny young boy.
Mm-hmm.
On the precipice of becoming a skinny young man. I at that point was fairly regularly going out with my father and my uncles and other clan members to escort people through the gates, and we got set upon by Grimlocks. Not the first time I'd seen Grimlocks, but usually I would stay back with the people we're escorting while other clan members would do the fighting.
Sure.
But that happened this time, and one Grimlock got past their line. I was the only line of defense left.
How harrowing.
Yes, the Grimlock ran at me, I grabbed its hand, I tripped on a rock, and I fell, and I accidentally pushed the Grimlock off the side of a rather long fall.
Well, that is impressive. Even at 14, you were protecting your charge and slaying Grimlocks. Did you ever tell anyone that it was an accident? Okay. Your secret's safe with me, Hector. And all of the listeners of this program, who I'm sure won't tell your dad or anyone important. That's a very great personal achievement. Yeah. Flipping Grimlocks at age 14. Rather impressive.
I slew my first enemy.
One of many, as it would turn out over the course of our show. Well, Hector, another harrowing tale from your past as a gatekeeper. Another monster slain far before you should have been killing anything. Which, interesting insight there. Thank you very much for your candor, and look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.
Don't kill any Grimlocks on your way out. Or do, if you see any, please kill any if you see any. Moving on to Rilla Longshadow. Rilla, it is a joy to have you in the studio once again. How are you today?
Doing great. Feeling pretty good. How are you?
I'm also great. I'm glad to hear you're in such a good mood. To fit that great mood, we have a pretty upbeat question this time. Not the serious fare that we've been sort of dipping into lately. The question is, what do you consider your greatest achievement is? In your life on this world, your fairly long so far elven life, what do you consider to be your greatest achievement?
I mean, I feel like I've done a lot of really cool shit for being a teenager. Like, fought a dragon and ate it, I
wholeheartedly agree.
Transformed into a halfling and rode a dog, and then transformed into an evil human and convinced some crazy dude to that he'd been abandoned by his leader. I've done a lot of cool shit. Also helped raise, my little sister. There's a lot I could pick here. But honestly, I think the best thing I've done in terms of biggest impact is probably talking my racist aunt down off her high horse. Probably. Because that would have been real bad if she'd stayed on the side of the stricken. So, I'm gonna go with that.
That's a fascinating choice, and I would say, considering how powerful your aunt is and what her plans were, that, talking your aunt out of her doomsday scenario where I believe she wanted to remove all of elven kind from this reality and put them in a different plane of existence and just watch the whole world burn.
Yep.
That is not a great future for the world. And I'd say de-radicalizing a zealot in one impassioned speech, pretty impressive. I think that makes sense as a greatest achievement, because Lord knows what your incredibly powerful wizard of an aunt may have done had you not talked her out of it. I think that's a good call, and something that we should all be thankful for just almost every day.
Right? Especially since half the time I run my mouth and it ends up poorly. But that time it worked.
Yeah.
So,
That time you didn't offend someone that was dying or anything. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a great answer, and a very memorable point in this adventure so far. I certainly enjoyed that episode. I think our listeners did too. Yeah, great answer. I thank you for your candor as always, Rilla, and I hope you stay safe out there.
Yep. You too, host. We don't need to go searching for you again.
Oh, no. There's far too many security measures that I have to now completely replace because they were bad. It's fine. I think I'll be okay this time. Anyway, have a great one. Next up, we've got Ruger Firehide, the lawman Ruger Firehide. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing just fine, host, and how are you?
I am good. We got a light subject today, something that might even be joyful, though considering how you and I have grappled over the time we've known each other, it's not fair for me to expect anything. Ruger, the question for today is, what is your greatest achievement in life? What do you consider your greatest achievement to be?
Well, hosts, yeah, you and me, we're known for our light banter, our very comedic and uplifting experiences together. I'll tell you, hosts, look, I have the right answer, and I'm gonna keep that one for me. And then the answer I'm gonna give you is, I pick myself back up. You know, when I was down, when I lost. I think out of everything I've done, the greatest thing I've ever done was got back up.
Well, Mr. Fireheart, I have to say that is commendable. Absolutely. Trying to dust yourself off and get back to living can be an incredibly difficult thing, especially for people that have encountered trauma. I'm not precisely sure I know what you've picked yourself up from. Does it have something to do with these burn scars on your hands and forearms here?
Yeah, host. I mean, I think we all have our dark days. And, yeah, I had mine. And I still bear the burns of that day on my body and on my being. But I did get back up and kept going and kept fighting. And, you know, every day, right?
Every day. That is darn right. Well, Mr. Fireheart, that's an uplifting message for sure, and absolutely commendable. I think you have the right of it. Picking yourself up after a horrible trauma is not easy for anyone, and to find purpose, to throw yourself into your work and try to make the world a better place in spite of the whatever trauma that is, which hopefully we'll get to at some point. Not that I'm lusting after your deepest, darkest secrets because it's my job or anything, but maybe
host, I think you're salivating and it's inappropriate. So
You're right. I'm sorry. You know, let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to As the Dice Turns, the podcast after the podcast. Sharon and I appreciate your ears, and until next time, keep those dice turning. Sharon, I need a hanky. I made a mess.
This is nice Roomba.
Hey there, dear listeners. Sam, the Dungeon Master here, checking in with the credits at the end of the show. Music for Challenge Rating 0 is provided by the dreaded harp wolf Danielle Taylor Williams. You can find more of her beautiful music at danielletaylorharp.bandcamp.com. She has an album out called Why Are We Surprised When Seasons Change? You should check it out. It is very, very good. Additional music for the show is provided by Justin Ra. You can check out his work at justinra.com. He also has an album out called Age of the Spirit. It is a real banger, and everyone should get it. If you'd like to reach out to us here at Challenge Rating Zero, we've got an email, challengerating0@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Facebook at Challenge Rating Zero, on Instagram at Challenge Rating Zero. We've got a Twitter at Challenge_ZERO, where you can reach out to us if you have any questions for our As the Dice Turn segment and want to ask any of our protagonists a question. You can reach out to us at our email or hit us up on Twitter with the hashtag ATDT. And in big news, we have a Patreon. We have officially launched our Patreon page. You can go to patreon.com/challenge_ZERO to check out our bonus content. We are going to be putting out bonus episodes monthly as well as tracks from the show. You can get access to a private Discord there. And if you enjoy the show, if you are feeling charitable, and if you'd like to support what we are doing here, you can sign up for one of the many tiers on our Patreon, and we certainly appreciate it. If you don't have any money to spare, totally fine. Please continue enjoying our show for free. We would ask that you maybe tell a friend about our charming little program here. If you're liking what we're putting out, let your nerd friends know. Let maybe your not so nerdy friends know. Anyone that's interested in D&D or just likes podcasts, tell a buddy. And make sure, if you are listening to the show, if you could do us a favor and make sure you're downloading the episodes. Downloads what really drive our numbers up and make us look really good to, people we want to look good to. So, if you wouldn't mind downloading some episodes, if you just happen to be streaming it, that is incredibly helpful. What else? Oh yeah, if you want to rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast app you are consuming our program on, consider giving us a rating and a review. We'd certainly appreciate it. We are dedicated to making the best show possible. We're going to continue doing so for as long as we can, and your support means the world to us. We know we've got some listeners on many different continents, and it warms our heart immensely that anyone is taking time out of their day to listen to our show. So if you'd like to support us, try telling a friend, maybe throw a couple extra downloads in there, or subscribe to our Patreon if you feel so inclined. There will be monthly bonus content to enjoy on that format. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, be good to each other out there. Bye.